But first, the Albanese government hasn't fooled anyone, rebadging its latest workplace legislation from same job, same pay to now closing the labour hire loophole. Now, the bill does exactly the same things. It tries to force employers to pay all their staff during the same nominal job exactly the same wage, even though some may be vastly more experienced long-term employees and others might still be new hires learning the ropes. Why, for instance, should a cleaner who's only been in the job for a week be paid the same hourly rate as one who's been with the business a decade and has a proven record of efficiency and reliability? But in fact, this bill, should it be passed, could just as readily depress the wages of the best staff rather than raise the wages of the newest or worst performers. Businesses that are compelled by law to pay everyone in the same classification the same pay are just as likely to pay everyone the award minimum as to pay everyone the rate that until now they only gave to their best workers. While the government would see this bill as levelling up, it could just as easily end up levelling down, which is why the major employer organisations are right to oppose it in its initial guise, and they're right to keep opposing it despite this cosmetic change. Now, typically, for a political party whose senior members have almost never had to run a business, as opposed to running unions at government agencies, the Albanese government doesn't get it, doesn't get the difference between long-term valued employees of a business and the short-term staff brought in to fill a gap or meet a surge. Paying everyone the same because they're in the same job classification undervalues excellence and experience and overvalues the nominal ability merely to do a job. The PM said earlier this month, quote, that you shouldn't be paid less simply because you work for labour hire, but this misunderstands what labour hire does. Labour hire employs people who can be in different workplaces from one day to the next. That's quite unlike the worker who works full-time and potentially long-term for just one business. If anyone should be required to pay all workers in the same classification the same wage, it's the labour hire company itself, which is their real employer, not the host employer, who's really just a contractor. Naturally, the employers who know better are up in arms about this, and what they see is the first sign of serious and organised opposition by business to the Albanese government. Now, long may that continue. It's about time business stop virtue signalling on issues like The Voice and campaign vigorously against policy like this that will make their costs higher, their decision-making harder, and their productivity lower. But it seems it's going to cost $1 billion. That's what BHP thinks this policy will cost the company. Now, that's finally reminded business exactly where their long-term best interests lie.